a WikiVidi documentaries production. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Enjoy. Avril Lavigne. Avril Ramona Lavigne is a Canadian singer-songwriter and actress. By the age of 15, she had appeared on stage with Shania Twain. By 16, she had signed a 2-album recording contract with Arista Records worth more than $2 million. In 2002 she released her debut album, Let Go, emphasizing a skate punk persona in which she has been often referred by critics and music publications as the pop-punk queen, due to her achievement and impact in the industry. Lavigne is considered a key musician in the development of pop-punk music since she paved the way for female-driven, punk-influenced pop music. Since her professional debut, Lavigne has sold more than 40 million albums and over 50 million singles worldwide, making her the third best-selling Canadian female artist of all time, behind Celine Dion and Shania Twain. Let Go made Lavigne the youngest female soloist to have a #1 album in the UK. As of 2013, it has sold nearly 7 million copies in the United States and over 16 million copies worldwide. Her breakthrough single, Complicated, peaked at #1 in many countries around the world, as did the album Let Go. Her second studio album, Under My Skin, was released in May 2004, and was her first album to peak at #1 on the US Billboard 200, eventually selling more than 10 million copies worldwide. The Best Damn Thing, Lavigne's third album, was released in April 2007, becoming her third #1 album in the UK Albums Chart, and featuring her first US Billboard Hot 100 #1 single, Girlfriend. Lavigne has scored 6 #1 singles worldwide, including Complicated, Skater Boy, I'm With You, My Happy Ending, Nobody's Home, and Girlfriend. Lavigne is one of the top-selling artists releasing albums in the US, with over 12 million copies certified by the RIAA. Her fourth studio album, Goodbye Lullaby, was released in March 2011. Goodbye Lullaby gave Lavigne her fourth top 10 album on the US Billboard 200 and the UK Albums Chart, and her third #1 album in both Japan and Australia. 3 months after the release of Goodbye Lullaby, Lavigne began work on her eponymously titled fifth studio album, which was released by Epic Records on the 1st of November 2013 following her departure from RCA Records in 2011. Lavigne took a break from recording music, pursuing careers in feature film acting and designing clothes and perfumes. She voiced Heather, a Virginia opossum, in the animated film Over the Hedge in 2006. That same year, she made her on-screen feature film debut in Fast Food Nation. In 2008, Lavigne introduced her clothing line, Abby Dawn, and in 2009 she released her first perfume, Black Star, which was followed by Forbidden Rose in 2010, and Wild Rose in 2011. In July 2006, Lavigne married her boyfriend of 2 years, Derek Whibley, lead singer and guitarist for Sum 41. The marriage lasted 4 years. In October 2009, Lavigne filed for divorce. Whibley and Lavigne continued to work together, with Whibley producing her fourth album, as well as Lavigne's single, Alice, written for Tim Burton's film Alice in Wonderland. Early life and education. Lavigne was born in Belleville, Ontario, Canada. Her mother is of English, Scottish, and German descent, and her father, Jean-Claude Joseph Lavigne, is of French-Canadian origin. She was named Avril by her father after the French word for the month of April. He and Lavigne's mother, Judith Rosanne Judy Lavigne, recognized their child's vocal abilities when she was 2 years old and sang Jesus Loves Me on the way home from church. Lavigne has an older brother, Matthew, and a younger sister, Michelle, both of whom teased her when she sang. My brother used to knock on the wall because I used to sing myself to sleep and he thought it was really annoying. When Lavigne was 5 years old, the family moved to Greater Napanee, Ontario, a town with a population of approximately 5,000. In school, she was sometimes kicked out of class for misbehaving. Her parents supported her singing. Her father bought her a microphone, a drum kit, a keyboard, and several guitars, and converted their basement into a studio. Following his own love for music, Jean-Claude led the family to church at Third Day Worship Centre in Kingston, Ontario, where he often played bass. When Lavigne was 14 years old, her parents took her to karaoke sessions. Lavigne also performed at country fairs, singing songs by Garth Brooks, the Dixie Chicks, and Shania Twain. She also began writing her own songs. Her first song was called "Can't Stop Thinking About You," about a teenage crush, which she described as cheesy cute. 199-2001 Early performances and record deal. In 1999, Lavigne won a radio contest to perform with the Canadian singer Shania Twain at the Choral Centre in Ottawa, before an audience of 20,000 people. Twain and Lavigne sang Twain's song, "What Made You Say That?" and Lavigne told Twain that she was going to be a famous singer. During a performance with the Lenox Community Theatre, Lavigne was spotted by local folk singer Stephen Med. He invited her to contribute vocals on his song, "Touch the Sky," for his 1999 album, Quint Spirit. She later sang on "Temple of Life" and "Two Rivers" for his follow-up album, My Window to You, in 2000. In December 1999, Lavigne was discovered by her first professional manager, Cliff Fabry, while singing country covers at a Chapters bookstore in Kingston, Ontario. Fabry sent out VHS tapes of Lavigne's home performances to several industry prospects, and Lavigne was visited by several executives. Mark Jowett, co-founder of a Canadian management firm, Network, received a copy of Lavigne's karaoke performances recorded in her parents' basement. Jowett arranged for Lavigne to work with producer Peter Zizzo during the summer of 2000 in New York, where she wrote the song, "Why." Lavigne was noticed by Arista Records during a trip to New York. In November 2000, Ken Kroenkard, an A&R representative, invited Antonio L.A. Reid, then head of Arista Records, to Zizzo's Manhattan studio to hear Lavigne sing. Her 15-minute audition so impressed Reid that he immediately signed her to Arista with a deal worth $1.25 million for 2 albums and an extra $900,000 for a publishing advance. By this time, Lavigne had found that she fit in naturally with her hometown high school skater clique, an image that carried through to her first album. But although she enjoyed skateboarding, school left her feeling insecure. Having signed a record deal, and with support from her parents, she left school to focus on her music career. Lavigne's band was chosen by Network, as they wanted young performers who were up and coming from the Canadian punk rock scene who would fit with Lavigne's personality. 2002-2003, Let Go. Reid gave A&R Joshua Sarubin the responsibility of overseeing Lavigne's development and the recording of her debut album. They spent several months in New York working with different co-writers, trying to forge an individual sound for her. Sarubin told Hit Quarters that they initially struggled. Although early collaborations with songwriter-producers including Sibel Brea, Kurt Frasker, and Peter Zizzo resulted in some good songs, they did not match her or her voice. It was only when Lavigne then went to Los Angeles in May 2001 and created 2 songs with the Matrix production team, including Complicated, later released as her debut single, that the record company felt she had made a major breakthrough. Lavigne worked further with the Matrix and also with singer-songwriter Cliff Magnus. Recording of Lavigne's debut album, Let Go, finished in January 2002. Lavigne released Let Go in June 2002 in the US, where it reached number 2 on the Billboard 200 Albums chart. It peaked at number 1 in Australia, Canada, and the UK. This made Lavigne, at 17 years old, the youngest female soloist to have a number 1 album on the UK Albums chart at that time. By the end of 2002, the album was certified 4 times platinum by the RIAA, making her the best-selling female artist of 2002 and Let Go the top-selling debut of the year. By May 2003, Let Go had accumulated over 1 million sales in Canada, receiving a diamond certification from the Canadian Recording Industry Association. By 2009, the album had sold over 16 million units worldwide, and the RIAA certified the album 6 times platinum, denoting shipments of over 6 million units in the US. Lavigne's debut single, Complicated, peaked at number 1 in Australia and number 2 in the US. Complicated was one of the best-selling Canadian singles of 2002, and one of the decade's biggest hits in the US, where subsequent singles, Skater Boy and I'm With You reached the top 10. With these 3 singles, Lavigne became the second artist in history to have 3 top 10 songs from a debut album on Billboard's mainstream Top 40 chart. Lavigne was named Best New Artist at the 2002 MTV Video Music Awards, won 4 Juno Awards in 2003 out of 6 nominations, received a World Music Award for World's Best-Selling Canadian Singer, and was nominated for 8 Grammy Awards, including Best New Artist and Song of the Year for Complicated. In 2002, Lavigne made a cameo appearance in the music video for 100 Million by the pop-punk band Treble Charger. In March 2003, Lavigne posed for the cover of Rolling Stone magazine, and in May she performed Fuel during MTV's Icon Tribute to Metallica. During her first headlining tour, the Try to Shut Me Up tour, Lavigne covered Green Day's Basket Case. 2004-2005, Under My Skin. Lavigne's second studio album, Under My Skin, was released in May 2004 and debuted at number 1 in Australia, Canada, Japan, the UK, and the US. The album was certified 5 times platinum in Canada and has sold 10 million copies, including 3.2 million in the US. Lavigne wrote most of the album's tracks with Canadian singer-songwriter Chantal Kreviazuk, and Kreviazuk's husband, Our Lady Peace frontman Rain Maida, co-produced the album with Butch Walker and Don Gilmore. Lavigne said that Under My Skin proved her credentials as a songwriter, saying that, "Each song comes from a personal experience of mine. And there are so much sick emotions in those songs." Don't Tell Me, the lead single off the album, reached the top 5 in the UK and Canada, and the top 10 in Australia. My Happy Ending, the album's second single, was a top 5 hit in the UK and Australia. In the US, it was a top 10 entry on the Billboard Hot 100 and became a number 1 pop radio hit. The third single, Nobody's Home, did not manage to make the top 40 in the US and performed moderately elsewhere. During early 2004, Lavigne went on the Live and by Surprise Acoustic Mall tour in the US and Canada to promote Under My Skin, accompanied by her guitarist Evan Torbenfeld. In late 2004, Lavigne embarked on her first world tour, the year-long Bones Tour. Lavigne won 2 World Music Awards in 2004, for World's Best Pop/Rock Artist, and World's Best-Selling Canadian Artist, and won 3 Juno Awards from 5 nominations in 2005, including Artist of the Year. She also won in the category of Favorite Female Singer at the 18th Annual Nickelodeon Kids' Choice Awards. Lavigne co-wrote the song Breakaway, which was recorded by Kelly Clarkson for the soundtrack to the 2004 film The Princess Diaries 2, Royal Engagement. Breakaway was released as a single in mid-2004, and subsequently included as the title track on Clarkson's second album, Breakaway. Lavigne performed the Goo Goo Dolls song Iris with the band's lead singer John Rzeznik at Fashion Rocks in September 2004. And she posed for the cover of Maxim in October 2004. She recorded the theme song for the SpongeBob SquarePants movie with producer Butch Walker. 2006-2008, The Best Damn Thing. In February 2006, Lavigne represented Canada at the closing ceremony of the 2006 Winter Olympics. Fox Entertainment Group approached Lavigne to write a song for the soundtrack to the 2006 fantasy adventure film Aragon. Her contribution, Keep Holding On, was released as a single to promote the film and its soundtrack. Lavigne's third album, The Best Damn Thing, was released in April 2007 and debuted at number 1 on the US Billboard 200, and subsequently achieving platinum status in Canada. The album sold more than 1.7 million copies in the US. Its lead single, Girlfriend, became Lavigne's first number 1 single on the US Billboard Hot 100 and one of the decade's biggest singles. The single also peaked at number 1 in Australia, Canada, and Japan, and reached number 2 in the UK and France. As well as English, Girlfriend was recorded in Spanish, French, Italian, Portuguese, German, Japanese, and Mandarin. The International Federation of the Phonographic Industry ranked Girlfriend as the most downloaded track worldwide in 2007, selling 7.3 million copies, including the versions recorded in 8 different languages. When You're Gone, the album's second single, reached the top 5 in Australia and the United Kingdom, the top 10 in Canada, and the top 40 in the US. Hot was the third single, and charted only at number 95 in the US, although it reached the top 10 in Canada and the top 20 in Australia. Lavigne won 2 World Music Awards in 2007, for World's Best-Selling Canadian Artist and World's Best Pop/Rock Female Artist. She won her first 2 MTV Europe Music Awards, received a Teen Choice Award for Best Summer Single, and was nominated for 5 Juno Awards. In December 2007, Lavigne was ranked number 8 in Forbes magazine's list of top 20 earners under 25, with annual earnings of $12 million. In March 2008, Lavigne undertook a world tour, the Best Damn World Tour, and appeared on the cover of Maxim for the second time. In mid-August, Malaysia's Islamic Opposition Party, the Pan-Malaysian Islamic Party, attempted to ban Lavigne's tour show in Kuala Lumpur, judging her stage moves too sexy. Her concert on the 29th of August was thought that it would promote wrong values ahead of Malaysia's Independence Day on the 31st of August. On the 21st of August 2008, MTV reported that the concert had been approved by the Malaysian government. Brought to you by WikiVidi Documentaries. Would you like to know more?